We have a rich tradition of teaching God's word, and our church was founded on the idea of being a light to a new community, to plant churches and send missionaries, and God's been so faithful to do that work in our church for over 40 years. And we're excited to say that we feel God calling us to continue that work in a new community.
I came here as a child, probably my late elementary years into junior high school.
So we came to Saturday night. It was Pastor Poppins. He spoke on predestination. Having never attended church in my life, I thought this place is crazy beans.
Yeah, Christine Helly, I've been coming for 20 years.
I think I started visiting in 1989, and I believe I was baptized in 91.
So the answer is the same for both of us. We've technically grown up here and gone our whole lives except for a 5-year gap where we were at college.
Well, whenever we first started dating, we wanted to find a church that we could both attend together. And my sister said, hey, why don't you come try LBC? And we've been here ever since.
And we are so blessed that in about 2020, God began to grow our church. And it began to grow in a way that caused us to say, what are we going to do with all these people, and how are we going to continue to teach them and love them and bring them together and disciple them, and then continue to reach out to lost people. And as we were praying through that and what we were to do, God gave us land.
Even though we both grew up here and our parents still faithfully attended LBC when we came back in 2021, we really wanted to make sure for our new family that we were making an intentional choice to be somewhere that was Bible teaching, faithful to God's word, and going to be a place that our future family could grow.
I know we've discussed it a few times, is like there's just more authenticity in how people relate to each other here, or how you interact with each other here, that I hadn't really experienced anywhere else besides LBC.
As we look to the future, it is so important that we don't neglect the present. And presently, God is doing so many great things at our church. And we want to continue to do that ministry, to teach the children and to teach the youth and to teach the adults and the seniors. And we want to continue to send people out to places where the gospel isn't. We want to continue to help churches in other countries, continue to help people in need in our own community.
We've been blessed to be able to raise our kids in LBC, and they've participated in children's ministries, like what we mentioned, VBS, and also their Sunday school classes, and learning from other men at LBC who also have raised kids and have grandkids.
I love that type of connection with this church community. I love seeing new moms blossom into their role, and us leading Bible study at our home over the years. That's been a real treat to me and a real insight into what people are dealing with day to day.
Anytime you go through a process like this, you can either look so far to the future you neglect the present, or be so focused in the present you neglect the future. And what we're saying is we want to look at both pieces. We want to look at our present needs and our future needs and combine them together and say, this is how we get there without dropping off what God's called us to do.
Incredibly important that we focus on what LBC is currently doing. In addition to the local ministries and everything that members see on the LBC campus, LBC also supports global partners and other mission families around the world as well.
In order for us to maintain the level of ministry that we have, that is around $2.5 million per year for the budget. That covers the staffing and the ministry and the lights and all of the things. And to do that over the next 2 years is $5 million. So we know that $5 million is what we need in order to do the present ministry over the next 2 years. The next part, the second part of this, is the future, the next. And the future, that cost is going to be $10 million. That's what we need to build and move and go do ministry at a new location, so that we have a space for every age, that we have room to disciple and everyone to meet and park and have this beautiful collision of everyone coming together as one church. We need the whole church to come together on both pieces to fund now, keep doing the ministry we're doing, and the future ministry for the next 40 to 50 years.
I think we can't lose sight that although our attention will be on building a new facility, LBC is not a facility. That's not what we are. We are what we do with and for one another as a church family. So that's got to go on. We can do both. We can have our attention on that building of a very pragmatic need for an expanded place of worship while we remember that we're here to worship together.
Not losing focus on the people that we are right now, getting so caught up in the moment of like what could be or what can we do in the future, what's it going to look like, that we've seen that happen in other places, and we don't want to be one of those statistics where we lose what we have right now, that authenticity, that family feeling exactly where we are.
So what do we need you to do? The first thing we need you to do is to pray, because we think through prayer, God will unify our church to all be on the same page, to offer all that you have before the Lord and say, God, how would you want me to participate in this goal, in this journey? And through prayer, we believe God will shape our hearts, unite our hearts, and focus our hearts. Giving is one of those things that challenges your heart. It challenges the intent of your heart. It challenges your priorities. And it has a way to really form and shape you and say, man, I really am trusting the Lord in this way. What a great opportunity for us to all be able to look back and say, look at what the Lord did. And I remember when, and I remember what I felt when we first had this opportunity, and then seeing God put all the pieces together, and then to finally be in that moment when God brought it all together.
I remember being a kid in the B building back when the church first started, and them talking about expanding to the A building, which is currently the worship center, and coming home, my family talking about it and praying about it, and that whole sacrificial giving thing, and then to see the fruits of that and to grow up in the church and now have the chance to do that for my kids is really exciting.
For many years, I've been a legacy-minded person in my personal life, in my business life, in my faith life. And I've moved from a person living in the present and looking a little bit into the future to thinking about what do I want to invest in that will be everlasting and impactful after I'm gone.
Yeah, as we think about expanding to the outskirts of Bakersfield and to think about where this property is uniquely positioned, it's just exciting to trust in the Lord and see what can happen through faith, through trust, and through giving.
And so we're inviting everyone to take this journey with us. And we want you to start with prayer and invite God to open up your hands and see what He might do through your generosity.